What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is BC. Welcome back to another live. All the links that I normally discuss are in the description here on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're listening. So today I want to talk a little bit with you guys about confidence. I see a lot of people misstep with this subject matter, this word, this skill that's earned. And I want to give some stories and talk a little bit more about how you can really earn some legitimate, bona fide, real, nitty-gritty confidence. Okay. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting. The watch time on this channel is exploding because of the lives. I really appreciate the support. I put all this stuff in the description. Check out the Real Estate Agagi. Check out Distinguished Agent. All the courses and coaching I have are on the website. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you're reaching out to me on the real estate side and you want to talk about my brokerage, all that fun stuff, just reach out and we can talk. Okay. So confidence. I want to start with this, right? One thing that I learned early on that was very beneficial with this subject matter is I was told, think of confidence as competence, meaning your proficiency doing something, right? And the way I interpreted that at the time, I said, okay, well, I can build confidence by getting good at what I'm doing. So I'm transitioning and changing my life from sports, from basketball to the professional world, right? Being a salesperson and an entrepreneur. So I need to get my proficiency up. I need to level up my skills, right? So when you think about it from that perspective, I said, all right, well, for me to build a baseline of confidence, I need to get good at my job. And if you're listening to me and you're in sales, right, you have some sort of business, you're dealing with people, you need people skills, you need communication skills, right? And this is so missed by people. So that's how you get the confidence. If every single person who listened to this, suddenly I could snap my fingers and you were just amazing with people, meaning you could sell, you could pitch your product, you could answer objections. I mean, just seamlessly. There's no doubt in your mind, in my mind, and in everybody's mind that immediately they would do what they have to do. They would talk to customers every day, and all the shit that people are trying to figure out, all the problems will suddenly disappear. So if that's the case, then why aren't we working tirelessly every day on our skills? Because when you think of it again from competence, how do I get better at dealing with people? I got to fucking deal with them. I don't watch a video. I don't go on Instagram, right? I don't read a book. I talk to people. And I go through all the stages of not being good. And I put myself in situations that get increasingly more difficult. What did I do? I went to Toastmasters. Shout out to that organization. Fantastic. It's a public speaking forum. Toastmasters. It's available pretty much anywhere nationwide. I guarantee you within 10 to 15 minutes of where you live, there's a gathering once a week. And it's very cheap. And you will be put to the test. You will be doing table topics. You'll be doing formal speeches. You'll be doing everything. I also did improv, where I went in front of people in a comedy club, not being a comedian, and embarrassed myself twice. Now, actually, I thought I did pretty good, right? But I was willing to do it to improve. Why? Because I would put myself in these high pressure situations that in my mind were the scariest fucking things. You know what? I'm going to go to that extreme, because if I can do the extreme and expose myself to the extreme, then the regular stuff that I do day to day is down here. It becomes infinitely easier. Confidence goes up. Why? The pressure is gone. But when we speak competence, proficiency, building your skill, you want to be a better fisher, right? You want to be a better actor, athlete. You have to practice in what you do. So if I'm a salesperson, if I'm an entrepreneur, if I run a business, if I'm doing social media, I need to be a better speaker. Well, man, you need to speak to people and put yourself in positions to speak on a daily basis. I spend hours a day training with people, talking with people, and doing stuff and podcasts. Hours. I'm talking all the time. This is why communication now for me is a fucking breeze. So for the person who's watching me, who's beginner, intermediate, or stone cold rookie, where do you start? Easy. You all have access to the scripts and the dialogues that you use. If you're going to go approach a customer, email, right? Talk to them, make a call, go door to door, visit people, go business to business. You either have written your own script or you have a script. Now, if you don't know how to write a script, you got to learn, right? Like even within my coaching, I have a whole section on how to literally create your own script. I teach people that. But jot anything down, man. At least start with something. Why? Because then you take those lines and you memorize them and then you practice with people. Role playing, ROLEPLAYING, role playing. And you do that. I did it 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day. And then extra too, because I loved it. I would record myself and put it on a CD. Yes, CDs, compact discs for you youngsters. And I would put it in the car, having recorded the lines that I was saying, and I would listen to them while I was driving to further burn them into my subconscious mind. And I would role play 2 hours a day. My prospecting scripts, my presentation scripts, working with buyers, working with sellers, right? Because that's how I started in real estate. And I obsessed about memorizing, using the lines, right? Perfecting the delivery and all the things that are in the scope of my work. And people refuse to do it. That's why I rose to where I am, because other people won't do that. And this isn't the first time I'm saying it, but people still don't do it. Why is it that I did it, said what I did, yet nobody replicates that? Nobody's willing to put in that level of work that consistently for that long. It's not hard. It's simple. But I'll say it's not easy, but it's not hard. We're not doing manual labor out there breaking our backs, right? But see, it's this. It's yourself. People refuse to grow and invest in themselves, the time, the effort, the money, the resources to get better at what they want to do. And if this is the game that you're in, this is what you need to get better at. And see, that's how I earn the confidence. Why? Because, I mean, let's look at it at different levels. Let's say I'm sitting with a client. You know what I'm thinking in my mind? Dude, I work so hard to get in front of you. You know how many calls I made? You know how many doors that I knocked? You know how many hours I spent role playing? You think with that going in the back of my mind, I'm not going to deliver? I work my ass off to earn that moment. I'm not going to let it slip through my fingers. You must be crazy. It's the same thing if we talk the dating world, right? For those of you who are getting out there talk, like when I talk to even beautiful women, you think I'm tripping? You know how many beautiful women I've talked to? You know how many times I've been rejected? I built businesses. I made this amount of money. I'm this kind of man. You think I'm going to be afraid or intimidated by you? Hell no. No. Why? Because I've earned the position. I've earned this shit. I've put myself through situations and moments that you wouldn't dare do in your lifetime. That's why. That's why I can sit here and speak this way. That's why I've earned this position. And that's why I'll stay here and I'll keep ascending. And I can say that shit with a smile on my face and with absolute certainty. And other people won't do it because they don't put in the work. Real confidence is earned, just like I named this thing. And if you don't have it, it's your fault. If you do have it, it's on you too. You see, when things go our way, we want to own up to it. But when they don't, we want to point the fucking finger. You accept whatever it is, the wins and the losses, the successes and the failures. You accept it all. You have to. You can't have one without the other. Can't have one without the other. So for you to build that baseline, you do the basics. Now, if you work in a different field and you work like in a technical skill, then you know what those basics and fundamentals are. You can parallel what I'm saying to that. But why will we not? I mean, fuck, I'm doing calisthenics now for 2 years. And even the monsters that are advanced, the gymnasts, the Olympic athletes say they always go back and they drill the basics consistently. Bingo. But you'll see some fucking marketing guru put some ad in front of you. No, you don't have to do that. You can do this. I have the magic dust and this for you. And you fucking run to it. And you have nobody to blame but yourself. And the beauty of this, right? Building confidence, especially when it comes to this, like communication, how you carry yourself, your self-esteem, man, that translates and carries over into any endeavor in your life. You will have better friendships. You'll have better relationships. You'll be more fulfilled. You'll be happier with yourself. You'll have more energy and vigor for life. You'll go after what you want. You'll be like infinitely motivated, and all the shit, 99% of what you deal with will just disappear because you've put in the work. See, when it's earned, even your own system and DNA rewards you for it. Yeah, you earned this, bask in it, enjoy it. And the world responds to you differently. When you're a confident person in my field, sales, real estate, the online stuff, people come in droves. Customers are easy to find. They want to work with you. They're attracted to you. You're magnetic, right? They trust you. They feel comfortable with you because you got the goods. You earned it. You can't fake the fucking funk, man. And people think they can. Because when you sit in front of a customer, you think they can't size you up? You think they can't see through your bullshit? Those of you who want to work the minimum and wear your sweats 24/7, and suddenly you're going to dress up to go meet with a client, you think they don't know when they look in your eyes that you're a fucking slacker and that you're lazy and that you don't want to work, and that the moment you leave that meeting, you're just going to go bullshit? They know. They may not consciously say that, but they feel it. They know you're a fraud. They can smell that shit and they can taste it in the air. And at the same time, that individual will hesitate when it's time to put it all on the line and step up and put their foot down, say that line confidently, take the right step, take the right action. They won't, because their own psyche is like, dude, you don't deserve it. So when they talk about that whole self-sabotage thing, a lot of that, right, comes from people knowing they don't deserve that opportunity. And that's why they hesitate. They've lacked the external work and the internal work in many cases. They don't work on themselves, and then the outward action that they're supposed to take to earn that position, they haven't taken it. So of course they're going to hesitate. Of course, that just makes sense. But on the flip side with me, that's why I never did. I'm like, dude, I fucking earned this. I worked my ass off to be here. I'm not going to let it slide or slip. No way. Now, if I give it my all and I don't get it, fair enough. I haven't earned it yet. But I showed up and I showed out. And I gave it everything that I had. And I can sleep like a baby at night knowing that I did. And guess what? When I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do the same shit again and again and again and again. Because that's what I am. That's how I've built myself. And that's what I do. Now, that as a business owner and as a brand is attractive to customers. So regardless of what people think about me, my customers, future clients, coaching clients, all watch this stuff. And this energy is intoxicating to them. And that's why they keep coming. That's why some people have left and they come back and they say, man, that X factor you have, I can't even find somewhere else. It was a mistake for me to leave. I'm glad I'm back. So for you, that baseline level of competence, right? Take a look at what you're doing right now and say, am I actively engaged daily in what I need to do to build that foundational confidence that I need to springboard from? The house is only as strong as the foundation that it's built on. We know this, but everybody nowadays is in the rush to do this and be a millionaire in 3 days and blah, blah, blah. In 48 hours, and like, there's this eternal rush that doesn't exist. That inflated type of urgency that was put into you is a bunch of bullshit. It took me years to build up what I built. Years. I've been in the game a decade. Why would I want to rush it? That was well earned. It just doesn't make any sense. And many times you know yourself what you're hearing might be bullshit, and people still believe it, unfortunately. Unfortunately. But like anything that's worth having, would you really cherish it and honor it and enjoy it, bask in it, sit back and reflect on it the right way if you got it quickly? No, you wouldn't. And this dynamic is present in life at every level and many genres. What comes easy goes easy. What one broke their back for and earned stays. And it makes them resilient and strong. Just like if now I suddenly lose everything, I'll have it back again very soon. That I can guarantee. Because I've been built in the process and I've done it before, I can do it again. But if you've never done it, how are you going to do it again? But you have to do the right things, put in the right code, follow the right formula, follow the right blueprint to get there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, y'all. This world has been figured out. Unless you're going to come up with some new invention that radicalizes and changes life, like when Windows came out and all this stuff, right? The iPhone. Unless you have some idea like that, the road has already been paved. Why are we trying to do this crazy shit? In reality, we're seeking the easy way out. That's what most people are doing. They won't admit it, but that's what they're doing. When I tell people, I won't even bring up sales. I'll just say, why don't you work on your communication? They're like, I don't want to cold call and door knock. I'm like, I didn't even mention that. I meant working on your communication. So they've already made up their mind, right? So it's not even about the communication. It's just they don't want to do that activity. You think I wanted to do that shit when I started? You think I wanted to do Toastmasters and work on my public speaking? You think I wanted to spend a lot of money on coaching and training and reading books and doing all the shit that I did? Hell no. I didn't want to knock on doors, right? Even some of the people that I taught that are great at it now, one of the first things they said is, I don't want a door knocker. I can't see myself doing that. Yet they fucking did it. Why? Because what's on the other side of it was worth it to them. It's not the activity. It's what is the result of doing the activities that you achieve. Is that worth it for you to get the confidence? Because if you're not willing to go through that stuff to get the confidence, good luck. Same thing with people who want more confidence in the nightlife and networking and talking to girls and all that. You're going to have to go out and talk to a lot of women and people in the nightlife to get good and smooth at that. You're not just going to snap your fingers and be good at it. You're going to have to go out there and get your ass kicked and be socially awkward and be presented with new situations and saturate yourself in it to a degree that you never have before to receive the information and feedback that you need to improve to get to the level that you want to get. And hopefully you have help along the way, because that formula to excellence has been cracked too, right? A lot of action, the right coaching, the right support, boom, you get there, right? Being an actor, athlete, whatever it is. Again, that formula and that code has been cracked. And ask yourself, honestly, am I following the formula? Because if you don't have the result, I guarantee you you're not. Now, if you are and you're on your way, salute to you. But that's very few people. And I talk to a lot of people every day and we interact with them, and they're just not doing what they need to do. Straight up. So if we talk confidence, they're not doing enough. I'll ask them, hey, you want to build up your communication skills and your confidence around people. How many people did you talk to today? Nobody. I went to the store, I went here, I went there, and you didn't talk to anybody? So you just put your head down and what a miserable way to live life and not interact with other human beings. When you said so yourself, you struggle socially or you want to build your confidence. Well, then what are you doing about it? Yet that person's at home later posting on Instagram, I'm the shit and I'm going to be good, and all the motivational memes and quotes. You guys know all that trash. The fake positive and inspirational shit, that everybody tries to be and post like they're cool. Right? And they'll get on, for 2 seconds and yeah, you need to get up and work and go get it. And then they're sitting at home in their sweats. Like, come on, dude, get real. So that first point that I brought up about stretching that comfort zone, right? Like your normal activities are this much pressure and intensity, and exposing yourself to things that are high intensity. Are you doing that? I know for a lot of people, right? Doing Toastmasters, going on stage, doing something like the improv, like I said, would scare the shit out of them. Now, if I say that and it scares the shit out of you, then immediately that's what you need to do. Otherwise, you will never grow to that next level. That is your limit. That is the edge of your potential currently. Are you going to exceed it? Unless you go to that border and that barrier, you will never exceed it, because you will live within the box that you've created for yourself mentally. It's a mental prison. I remember I said a quote that blew up last year. I said, at least like the actual prisons, the bars are visible, because most people don't even realize the bars that they've created in their mind. They live in a mental prison. I said something like that, right? I'm sure it'll pop up, the memory, and people loved it and shared it a million times. It's the truth. So that barrier you created. Oh, if I post this on Facebook, people are going to get mad, or I can't say this. I can't. Those are all artificial barriers that you have created, that it's up to you to burst and break. Because in that process, you rid yourself of all these things and all these attachments. Like people's opinions and criticisms and the inability for you to go after what you want and lacking confidence, right? There's more to it, but this is a vital piece that a lot of people will never do. And for many of you, it's because you don't put yourself in a position where you have to do it. The people around me have no choice. But if you don't choose me, you don't pay me, you don't get me to help you, well, you better figure it out or find somebody else to help you. Because for most people, 99% of people, 99.9% of people, they're not going to do it on their own. This is why the teacher-student relationship is so fucking sacred. Yet people have massacred that shit. People will listen to a podcast and say, oh, that's my mentor. That's not your mentor, dude. You're disrespecting that relationship and the word. Stop doing that. That's a person that you watch online. You're a fan. There's no disrespect with that, but call it as it is. That shit is a sacred relationship, man. That's why I still have a great relationship with a lot of the coaches and teachers that have helped me and that continue to help me. And I'll respect them till the day that I pass because I learned so much from them. And I've given them the time, the energy, the money, and all the things in exchange. And I take those relationships and connections very serious. So I don't like when people just throw that shit around. Oh, that's my coach. That's my mentor. Dude, what are you talking about? No, it's not. They don't even know your fucking name. So use those terms correctly. Because you wouldn't go around back in the day saying that, right? Imagine you're an old samurai guy. Oh, yeah, that's my sensei. Oh, sensei who? Oh, then they go to him and he's like, oh, he's never been here. He's never been in my dojo. I don't teach him. That would be stupid. But see, that's why those samurais at those dojos or those martial arts, that's why they're the best. They dedicate their lives to that, right? And they picked martial arts or they picked jujitsu or they picked boxing or whatever it is. Now, if you've picked sales, communication, entrepreneurship, then this realm of confidence and communication has to be at the top of your fucking list. And you better take it serious because the world doesn't owe you shit. It doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't owe you empathy. It doesn't owe you money. It doesn't owe you attention. It owes you nothing. Yet we go out there like, oh, well, you know, if I'm hustling, I'm going to get customers. No, if you go out there and you don't do it correctly and you suck, you will not get customers. If you don't have the things checked off on the list that equals you getting customers, you won't. I don't care how much effort you put in. That's the reality. And nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to admit it. I'm the asshole for saying it, but it's the truth. And you can stamp that shit. If you don't do things right, you won't get the result. There's no A for effort in the real world. You're left with no money in your bank account, back against the wall, living out on the street with nothing. There is no A for effort. You don't get points for showing up. We're talking about the real world here, where if you suck, the market will speak and you will be out. If you're good, you'll be paid, you'll get the reputation, you'll get the attention, you'll get the business, the customers, and all that fun stuff. So you're either going to be good and you're going to be in that category or you won't. It's black and white. There's no gray area. You either got it or you don't. For all the realtors here who listen to me, you either got the listing or you didn't. The buyer worked with you or he didn't. Oh, I almost got it. Doesn't count. That doesn't equal any money in your bank account or a transaction. So it would behoove you to understand that and say, I need to be the best. It's not an option. I need to be the best. Where is that clarity and sense of urgency and discipline and that ferocity going after achieving this confidence? I know many people who are confident. It's crazy because they're not intelligent. They're not more capable than you. They're not more talented, but they have that confidence. They just believe in themselves and they go out there and they do well. Now, if they had the real skills and expertise, they could do much better, but they do well. They do well. Somewhere along the line, somebody taught them how to be confident because, man, they don't know shit, but they're confident and they get business. And it reflects in their brand and they carry themselves a certain way. So this, and again, when we measure it, because this is how we are as human beings. This is one of those things. All these factors, it's not, well, kind of. No, it's you got it or you don't. People can walk down the street, look at you and say, that's a confident person or they're not. There's no, well, kind of. It's, again, you have it or you don't. Now, there's going to be a moment when you're working on it that suddenly you have it. Great. But if you don't, you don't. And you don't know how far along you are. And that's not up to you to determine your results. And how the world responds to you is a direct reflection of that. So I'm testing all the time to see if I still got it, or these features that I talk about all the time. And I'm constantly given the feedback that I do. If I stop getting the feedback, I'd have to stop for a second and say, wait, maybe I need to do some checking, adjust some things, because I'm not getting the result anymore. When I'm speaking now, people aren't listening. Apparently, I'm not as good as a communicator as I thought. So that assessment is always there. But again, we're talking the real world here, ladies and gentlemen. The real world. That's what I teach. That's what I preach. And that's what I prepare people for. There's no fluff here. There's no BS. You want to learn skills? We'll teach you real skills. But when you come correct. That's why I named the new program the Agagi. That's what the Spartans would go to at age 7 to start training to become a full-time member of the Spartan army, one of the finest warriors back in the day. You had to come correct. But that title, right, was prestigious. It was a top of the top. They were revered as the top warriors. They dedicated their lives to it. That's what I expect from people that work with me. You dedicate yourself to this shit. You become a great student. You give it your all. We're not talking about talent here. We're talking about giving it your everything and dedicating yourself to it. I don't want the wishy-washy, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Not here. I'm not for you. I will kick you out as soon as I bring you in, if that's what I get. Because we don't need that here. This is for the elite. This is for the chosen few. That's why it was the 300. This isn't for everybody. You know? And if you're not cut out for it right away, it's going to be too intense for you and you're not going to like it. But the ones who are come in like, yeah, this is my tribe. Exactly. All finely tuned machines. And in this case, salespeople. Silky smooth communication. Absolute prestigious in how they carry themselves. An aura that's undeniable. Customer service that's top notch. All these things. Respected amongst their peers and the professional world. Yet when you're doing that and you're focused on this and you hold yourself to that high standard, that's just what you become, because all the inputs you put in your life and everything you've set up creates that. That becomes the reality when you put the right input. Same thing that I said earlier. This code has been cracked. It's not new. Living a life of excellence and holding yourself up to that high prestige is easy if you do what it is that you need to do consistently and you become that. You don't go on a diet. You change your lifestyle. And you eat a certain way because that's you. A diet is temporary. It's not going to do anything. It's the same thing with how you handle your finances. You're going to have a standard of excellence in how you run your finances, or you're not. You don't make these little changes and suddenly, no. You dedicate yourself to that being the way that you are. It's a beingness. It's not temporary. It's not a Band-Aid. It's not this little switch that just goes on and off. It becomes a permanent change. You shed the old and you bring in the new. The moment that kid at 7 years old walks into the Agagi, he leaves his mother's arms and he goes from a boy to becoming a fucking man back in the Spartan days. You enter my kingdom as a coach and a trainer. You go from being a rookie novice to now a professional salesperson and entrepreneur. That I can guarantee. But you will be held to that standard. For you to be granted that title, you'll have to earn it. And one of the things is the confidence. If you do not unlock the confidence and build real confidence, you won't be able to wear that title. You won't be knighted like they did back in the day. Thou art, right? Knight, whatever, right? You're only going to do that when you earn it. You don't just show up and get it. The trials, the tribulations, the hardships, all the stages of building your business. One of the guys on our accountability call today, right? Starting to consistently get appointments, sales appointments with his customers. Now he just needs to sharpen up a little bit more his presentation skills, and he's going to start converting. He's right there on the cusp, but he's earned that position because he's had his head down quietly working for months, building that up. And now he's about to reap the benefits and rewards of doing so. It wasn't just given to him. He earned that shit. And nowadays, people don't want to earn, oh, it's just given to me. I just show up, right? Like you hear that shit in dating. What do you bring to the table? I am the table. What? Shut up. What the fuck are you talking about? Delusional. Absolutely fucking delusional. So when I step up with somebody, I have all the experience, all the hardships, all the effort. And when I'm talking to somebody, they know that I mean what I say and I say what I mean. So now you're left with the predicament. What am I going to do? Am I going to continue doing what I'm going to do, or am I going to make the change? Am I going to take confidence seriously, or am I just going to, watch this video about how to be more confident and leave it at that? You see, most people dwell on that false sense of accomplishment. They don't do any actual work. It's preparing to one day maybe do this, and I know this one idea, and I'm going to implement that, and tomorrow, right? It's never anything actually. I'm like, show me your body of work. Put it on paper. Write it on your phone and show it to me. What have you actually done to build your confidence, sir, ma'am? Crickets. Nothing. Well, this one time, and I'm going to. Nope. Zero. Or very little effort, expecting maximum gain. They want to speak in front of thousands of people, but they've attended one meeting to speak on Zoom one time in the last year. Come on, dude. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Okay? So, as we're wrapping up, guys, January, those of you who are interested in potentially being a realtor that I select for my local kind of group in Miami, and people who are looking to network with successful entrepreneurs in Miami, I'm going to be doing that event January 6th. I will be dropping the links here and in all the future videos. I have multiple speakers, multiple business owners. It's going to be legit. I have a challenge the 26th through the 29th of December coming out. I'm going to be dropping that tonight and tomorrow, so keep a lookout for that. Anybody who joins my new Real Estate Agagi, you will get that challenge at the end of the month for free if you join between now and Christmas. Okay? That's it for this one. You have all the other links in the description. I'm signing off for the night. Peace out. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.